lost a few games. Tough. That was District 5. Now we're the Ducks. Yeah. And the Ducks are undefeated.
All right! Yeah!
Quack. 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 No! Hell was that?
Out there in podcast land, welcome to the Front Row Movie Reviews, the podcast for people who actually like movies. I'm your host for this flashback. My name is Scott McFarland. You know, somewhere between The Miracle on Ice and Kurt Russell, we have a generation of movies that defined generations. And I messed that up, but we'll go with it anyway. And so with that, there are movies that are classics to some, not so much to others, but for everyone, they are important to our growing up. And because it is hockey season for some people,
Woo! Let's go Blues.
Even though the Hawks are done, we're going to be talking about a hockey movie that we should have been talking about 2 weeks ago. And I've actually watched this movie, so we're doing okay. We're going to be talking about the first Mighty Ducks that came out in 1992. So as we always do with flashbacks here, I'm going to start off with a little bit of a synopsis. And then we're going to talk about how we felt about the movie.
Hey, how about who's at the table with us?
Oh, yeah, we probably should talk about who I'm with. I'm just going to talk to myself for an hour.
That's fine. I mean, that's all.
So, with me today, I have...
Kevin, Let's Go Blues Kulovic.
And I have on this side here...
Josh Meisbacher. Kevin, you're a dork.
And back by popular demand, and we probably slashed his tires outside, we have with us from the Lincoln's Legends, Mr...
My name is Jeremy Bailey, and I don't know how I got here.
We doped him up and brought him in.
I was just kidding. I've heard the intro 100 times, and I love how you do that. Somewhere between this, somewhere between that. It's very...
it's very terrible.
No, it's nostalgic. I really like it. You find this between that, and I always hear a snicker after it that someone else doesn't like it. I'm not gonna say who, but no, I love that intro. I don't know if you just thought that up while you were on the John or like where you got it, but
I made.
Are we on the John right now?
Yeah. Well, that'd be actually we're doing videos soon enough, so
that'd be
we
weird.
Could have that. The John Confessions.
No, but
I
do like it somewhere between because it's
I'm
nice.
the nostalgia guy, so I like throwing nostalgia up as much as possible. And for those playing the home game, Kurt Russell was the coach in the Miracle movie.
Great movie. Can't wait for us to do that one as well.
So we're going to start off with a synopsis of the movie here. So, Mighty Ducks, we have Gordon Bombay, played by Emilio Estevez, the other Martin Sheen. He is our protagonist, a sleazy lawyer who screws court reporters and destroys the justice system. Oh, and yeah, he also drinks and drives. Thanks, Disney, for the protagonist.
Sounds like an Illinois politician.
I'm not going to say a word. After getting pulled for a DUI, Bombay gets community service, which, of course, again, talk about the justice system there. He is ordered to coach a Pee Wee hockey team, the Bad News Bears, or as they're called here, District 5, which read into that as you will. Bombay finds a team of misfits whose last coach took the hard way out via a heart attack. The team grows on Bombay, and he gets his law firm to sponsor them and rebrands them the Ducks. This also gives his old friend, who owns a sporting store, a good kickback of about $8,000 for buying all the merchandise for him.
Could you imagine what that is today?
It was a lot of money in merchandise. So Bombay teaches the team to win, then loses them because they don't understand sarcasm. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. And then gets them back in time for the playoffs. The team comes together with a prisoner of war, played by the kid who got stolen from the Hawks for no apparent reason.
Adam Banks. Cake eater.
And they take on the big bad Hawks, and surprise, it's a Disney movie, they do win. We finished the movie with Estevez heading off for tryouts in the minors, the kids looking forward to the next season, and Disney seeing dollar signs. So let's go ahead and talk about our first impressions of this movie. Actually, Kevin, you were alive for this one, so we'll go ahead and start with you.
I was. So I was all of 3 years old, but I remember this movie, and I've watched it hundreds of times. And being the playoffs, and my team, unlike Josh's, still being in the playoffs, this movie just solidifies my childhood. I am a sucker for sports movies, and this is my childhood wrapped up. All the Mighty Ducks movies, but it all starts with this one. It has every aspect that I like seeing in my type of fictional sports movies. It mixes in real life sports with the fictional District 5 that we have going on. But this is one of the top nostalgic movies for me in my childhood. I love every single. I had them all on VHS, and I love them all dearly. This is my ultimate childhood sports movie, along with like Angels in the Outfield, Rookie of the Year, stuff like that. But this is. I never played hockey, but I always wish I could. And this is what started my love for
That's
the
what this
sport of
movie
hockey.
needs is Christopher Lloyd. This movie needs Christopher Lloyd.
Where
As an angel
Ducks,
on the blue line. I don't know.
You don't need that. You have Charlie Conway.
True. And we have wow, my brain just
Who are you trying to talk about?
died.
What?
Who?
Joss Ackland?
No, we're
As
gonna move
Hans?
on. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Bailey, you're up.
I love the idea of the Mighty Ducks. We can't get through the franchise without this one. With the nostalgia goggles, like, yeah, it's awesome. First time you ever seen it. Retrospect, kind of creepy. Yeah, like Emilio Estevez doesn't give two shits about anybody. He's like, I'm just gonna get drunk, drive my car, and who are you to stop me? And Disney bought that, but wouldn't buy Back to the Future. So
Valid point.
It was also about
That
a
is
decade
actually
later.
a valid point.
I blame Eisner.
yeah, no. It gives us Joshua Jackson. He is the handsome man.
He was
And
13.
So handsome.
and it also gives us Eldon Henson from Daredevil. So,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
He Elton Reed. Is it? I'm reading the IMDb. Yeah, Fulton Reed, one of the Bash brothers. Little did
The
we
only
know.
Bash brother.
Wait, he's
this
in
movie.
Daredevil? I've never watched Daredevil, so.
Yes.
Oh wow! So Fulton Reed is actually because mostly nobody's done anything since then. Since he
Especially
movie.
Emilio
That's what I'm saying.
Estevez.
So yeah, no, I love the franchise as a whole, but there are holes in it, and we can get to those further.
Absolutely.
But I love the Misfits, the Bad News Bears. I love you can just get kids and throw them whatever equipment that they can have, and they can make that Rocky type moment where they make it to the top, even though they weren't trained to do it. So.
Agreed. And we actually had that conversation where should we just dive into Mighty Ducks 2? But we're going to be completists here, and we're going to talk about Mighty Ducks first. So we will get to Mighty Ducks 2, definitely. And maybe 3, which is kind of odd in itself.
Josh. I was gonna say, are you gonna get to him there?
I kept pointing at him, I kept talking, it's all good.
I was 6 years old when this movie came out, unlike Kevin, who's a baby.
Oi. Oi.
Yeah, sorry, Scott.
Oi.
But this is one of the very first like sports Disney's movies I ever watched, and where I lived at the time, there was not hockey, so this made you, like Kevin, made you want to play hockey, even though you couldn't. So, but it did. It had everything that you wanted for a kid as a sports movie. Emilio Estevez is a drunken idiot, but it was everything that you wanted and more. So I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and I still enjoy watching it now.
And I was 9 when this movie came out.
God, you're old.
So you were like at home with the keys, making your own lunch and stuff, and you just like,
Doing your own
walk back and
laundry
forth
and
to
shit.
school.
Like,
Had 2 jobs. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Oh no, sorry.
What are you trying to say, sir?
By the way, can we how hot is Connie Moreau now?
she's fucking hot.
I'm not going to lie, I had a crush on her when I was a kid.
She was cute back then. She is hot now. She is some
Good,
hot
that makes
shit.
me less creepy.
Man, that bone
That's
structure
good.
really just kicked in.
Yeah.
Bone structure. Yeah, when she was in middle school, she didn't have much bone structure.
No.
Okay, well,
amazing.
I'm kind of in the same boat Bailey is.
You do realize she was in What Hot American Summer, right?
Yes.
I did not.
No, I did not know
I don't
that.
think Kevin's seen
There
half
you
the
go.
movie.
Wowzers. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So, I'm in the same boat. I actually hadn't seen this since probably the late 90s.
When you do, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, no, and
Sorry.
I agree. It's totally fucking weird.
I kind of hit on that in the synopsis, and I'll talk about it later. But Gordon Bombay is not a likable character.
He's a dirtbag.
All
He's a
the way-
douche.
All the way
He's
to
a
the
drunken
end,
idiot.
he befriends the mom and gets her to like date him, and then he runs off to the minors.
And let's talk about how hard it was for Josh Jackson's character to trust him as a mentor.
Absolutely, and he runs
Let
off.
alone,
Okay, but the running off is not a big deal because the
No,
team.
it's not a big deal.
because I've been abandoned before. It's fine.
No,
You're trying to bang my mom, now you're just going to run away.
no,
Fuck.
no. They wanted him to because they know he never took his opportunity and he was a talent, and they just. And then when they go
She
visit,
can't
them-
afford those long distance bills. She's
But
a single mother.
When they
They
visit,
live in Minnesota.
when they visit, when they visited the North Stars, Mike Modano, of all one of the Hall of Famer that he is, said, "Hey, whenever you want to try out, man, come and see us." And all the kids are just like, "Oh man, our coach could play for the North Stars."
Even with his bum knee, really? Was it worth it?
He didn't have the bum knee yet.
Hey, spoilers.
He didn't have the bum knee yet. That comes in. Yeah,
He's
spoiler
like,
for
what, 30,
D2.
35?
D2 is when that spoiler comes when he took the nasty hit.
life.
Oh,
was
shut
manifesting.
up! Yeah, come on. No, but
Because so many triple D's.
So-
So many triple D's.
As I was saying with my first impressions.
which everybody does a triple D. I hate how they call it a triple D.
Flying V.
Now that is pretty cool.
The triple D, was it taking 2 girls to prom?
Bailey's now a regular on the show.
That's a good one right there, sir.
Kevin, you've been voted off the island. Bailey's taking
Choose you on that one. That was a good one.
Salud! Oh my god, that was great.
So
This is ginger ale, pomegranate from.
yes.
With a little hibiscus.
I have what's called a drinking problem, so I don't anymore.
Proud of you.
With a little
Proud of
bit
you.
of hibiscus.
So, as we've obviously hit on, I watched this for the first time in probably close to 20 years last night, thanks to DirecTV for charging me $4. And I know.
You could rent it for
I
like
know.
$2.
It was-
Yeah,
I was-
like
50 cents.
I was being lazy, but. And it doesn't hold up, and I'm going to get into more details on that. So, unfortunately, this
In what way?
I'll get into more details.
As an adult, it doesn't hold up, but as a kid,
Exactly.
it
No,
does.
nostalgia.
That's
I
the
get that, but what I'm saying is, this is going to be the first movie that we've discussed, aside from Space Jam, that I didn't watch. But this is going to be the first movie that we discussed that I actually watched again, and it didn't endear itself again to me. So this is going to be a good conversation, I think.
Because
to
you're a
figure
dad
out.
now, and you're like, that's fucked up.
It
And
is.
you're
It is.
older,
And,
you're
I used to teach high schoolers, so I'm watching these middle schoolers. I'm just like, you're doing it wrong. You're making these kids into really screwed up individuals. Is what you're doing.
Role models.
Okay,
Good
so
job, Disney.
Well, they were District 5. I mean, they were underprivileged.
they look like District 12.
Are they
for
the-
most of the
are they
movie.
the ones-
What are we talking Hunger Games now?
They just eat till they throw up, and then they drink the juice. Is that what?
We start out meeting our kids. They literally are walking around watching a dog and waiting for it to shit. I know Minnesota is boring, but this takes the cake.
That's all you have to do in Minnesota.
What's it all about?
What are we in Canada?
In Minnesota, we only have 2 seasons: hockey in July.
That
This is gonna be a great
pinch of
freaking
Arnold. Had a pinch
podcast.
of Arnold in there.
I'm gonna need more Crown and Coke.
Okay, well, Josh gets a refill. Kevin, tell us about some of your favorite scenes of the show.
Well, obviously, I like the transition that we get. So we have this dysfunctional team, and then all of a sudden, because of a boundary issue, Adam Banks comes and is forced to join this. Cake Eater is right. Who and his dad. The Hawks are obviously made of this upper class, pretty much your I don't know how you want to see your private schoolish
Like a prep
type.
school, maybe?
Yeah, prep school type, and the team has been around
hanging
forever.
out with those dirtbags.
And it's always, and you see the legacy that the team has had ever since Gordon Bombay's years, where even though he missed that breakaway, and by the way, that is the worst coach ever. This is a sidetrack, but
Pauly Shore's stepdad.
yeah, but for a kid at whatever age he was at, 10 at the time, he misses the game-winning goal, and the disappointment that a coach gives you. And just like you
That's
are,
for the championship. That's for the championship.
doesn't matter.
Yes, I'm a coach. Fuck that.
That would never happen.
Really?
Bullshit.
You never seen Friday Night Lights? There's a
Okay.
whole franchise.
Okay, we're talking about movies here. I'm talking about in real life. And
That is based
That
off
is-
real life.
that is based off real life.
how is it based off real life?
Friday Night Lights.
Oh, you're
That
talking about Friday. I'm talking about Mighty Ducks here. I
That
don't know what
type
the
of
guys.
pressure happens to children.
I understand that, but still, even when you're depressed,
When you never lose a championship ever until that time.
but still, the
Here's-
pressure you put on a kid like that.
Here's my other problem with this, though. We talk about the coach of the Hawks and how he puts a lot of pressure on him. when I was watching this movie, I remember another show from the 90s, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. And
now that's taking us back.
He was Perry White. So every time he pops up, I keep thinking, Great Caesar's Ghost. I'm just like, this is throwing me off. Or Great Elvis's Ghost, or whatever it was.
But favorite scenes, obviously, one of my when he's telling off Ducksworth, and when Adam Banks' father goes to Ducksworth, said like the kid, and Gordon Bob, he was pretty much given the ultimatum: you either let Banks play for the Hawks or not, and he's just like, no. I mean, I'm playing by the rules, and that was one of my favorite scenes. And how he's spitting back at Ducksworth and all that, and he's willing to risk his job for these kids just to give them a fair chance.
He's on probation. He's getting paid to drink.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duckworth.
Quack, 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 Mr. Duckworth. Exactly. So you have these lighthearted moments, and obviously, for some reason, I relate a lot to Goldberg. Maybe it's because he's a little short, little chubby kid.
And Goldberg.
He was great, and it's just there's little moments that are just classic in my mind that stick out that I still quote today, going back.
We can all agree the movie is unrealistic.
All movies are practically.
I know, but
unrealistic.
this one's like really bad with the unrealistic. Like, okay, Goldberg. At first, he didn't want to get hit by the puck.
Yeah.
Then they tied him to the damn net, and they shoot. I was like, oh, this doesn't hurt. Come on, no. And then he becomes like an all-star goalie. There's no way that ever.
He was never an all-star goalie. You see that throughout the entire.
They pulled him with tons of time left because they knew he couldn't handle it.
He's still going to play on US.
Gaffney took him in the playoffs.
Okay, now you're on the D2, but still,
Okay,
he still
but
made
just
the damn
saying,
team. He still made the team.
Who else was gonna play goalie?
I'm just saying.
He was the biggest kid on the team.
Goldberg, it's your job to stop the puck.
That's true.
He's freshly circumcised, ready to go.
Circumcised?
Circumcised.
What's that one? That's a new term. Circumcised.
Circumcised. So, Josh, tell us about your favorite scene.
One of my favorite scenes is pretty much when Gordon Bombay is first introduced to the kids when the kids are playing
on the pond. Yes.
Yeah, when the kids are playing
He
on the
tries to
pond.
put him in danger of death.
Pretty much, yes. That's like one of my favorite scenes because, like, as a kid, you're like, that is so cool. Because in the back of your mind, you're like, ice needs to break. Just break the ice. Yeah, he pulls up in the limo. He's on the ice, and then the mom, this Conway, comes out. You know, you're endangering the lives of our children. She's meeker, man.
And I love the line that he says. He's just like, how do you know the ice won't break? I grew up on the ice. She's like, how do you know? I just know, okay?
Exactly. And that
I'm
scene,
a dick, okay?
And that scene right there is
wasn't
one
a
of
dick.
my favorite scenes.
It just shows him how it takes him back to he's grown up around this game, and so he knows what. And I kind of liked it. It's a kind of endearing moment. It's like, I know this game was my life. I know exactly what everything can take.
And that's like a little special moment with him. Like, that's like, I'm not a dick, but, you know, I know things.
Yeah.
Bailey, what do you got?
How long is the statute of limitation on theft?
Continue.
on theft in the city of Springfield? Because I know a guy.
We all know
I know
that.
a guy that was really inspired by the movie, and he couldn't quite afford rollerblades, and he really enjoyed them, but he stole a pair of roller skates from Skateland North, and he rode those roller skates to the mall because he couldn't make it to Minnesota. So
That was a pretty neat scene. I mean, how cool would it be to roller skate?
that was one of my, to this day, I just still don't think my mom loved me enough because I never got to go to the Mall of America. And so,
Okay, we're skipping toward 3 again.
I'm just-
now we're skipping. I don't think that was. Was that Mall of America?
No, that wasn't Mall of America. That was just a Minneapolis St. Paul Mall.
3 months.
Where is
Mall of America was 2, I think.
No, because that's when Fulton and Charlie Conway quit
you're
the team,
right.
And they're eating chocolate-covered bananas.
and then
they're
they
doing the
get
roller
sick
coaster.
in the back.
so
Exactly.
they didn't steal any skates? And
No, they did, but it was just
they
a
didn't-
little mall.
they didn't
It was like a
steal.
Simon.
No, they just rode the roller skates. They rode the
I
roller
don't think that was
malls.
Mall of America. They were at a mall.
It was a mall.
It was like a Simon Mall, but yes.
It was yes. So that was my favorite. It inspired one of my good friends to roller
Nice.
skate through a mall.
This is nice.
Did he get in trouble?
We're not going to speak his name, so it'll be fine.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, he got in trouble.
It's been expunged.
Allegedly, he didn't get enough attention at home, and he was just trying to reenact,
They put his name in the book, and he got kicked out of the mall for 30 days. That's pretty much what they do.
Allegedly.
I know from experience.
I will say this. There's a scene that I love too when he goes home, quote unquote, to Hans, and I love the fact that Hans actually does see some good in the POS that is Gordon Bombay.
Agreed.
because-
And Hans always, because he's known him since he was a kid, he always brought the best out of Gordon.
Yeah, he's like, you're blinded, you got shit goggles on, like, you just, sorry to be Jim Leahy from Trailer Park Boys, but you got the shit goggles on.
Now shine
you
these skates.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Oh, I cut myself.
It's like
Catch up.
He's got a mature form of Tourette's where he gets mature just in bits and pieces. Like
As the plot says so, you get mature.
he's sharpening these skates. He's like, I don't have to be an asshole. I can influence these kids in a good way. But then he just floats right out, you know. But yeah, I guess
Should have sharpened more
No, I
skates,
hear you.
man.
Another scene I like is the flashback with Gordon and his father. I'm a sucker for father-son scenes.
Sure.
That's a good one where he's teaching his kid how to skate or how to shoot. He's already good at that point, but kind of helping him. And you get that connection to where a lot of this went south, not because of the asshole Hawks coach and losing the game. It was the fact that was probably the last game that his dad saw.
Right.
And so you make that connection that's probably where this guy went to a life of crime that is a lawyer. And so you have that issue going on.
But yet, and to side on that, another scene that sticks out is when they go to see the North Stars game and
The North Stars, the Minnesota North Stars.
Minnesota North Stars before they went to Dallas.
Were
And
you the only one that thought you were a badass when they switched? Like, I knew when they were the North Stars.
I do. Honestly,
Yes.
it's like that's a trivia question.
still
Like,
bring that up?
where did the Dallas Stars play before they moved to Dallas? I'm like Minnesota North Stars, or who were they? I'm like, how do I know that? Mighty Ducks.
And they left like 6 months after the movie came out, so it's kind of a jinx there.
But when you see the kids' excitement. And when they see the reaction, with Mike Madonna and all that, how these guys used to play with Gordon
Sweet
back in
mullet,
the day.
It was so nice.
Oh yeah,
Just flew in the air.
And just the joy, and they see where they can work toward. That's their ultimate goal. And their coach that is a bum, but
You fucking bum.
what the talent he had, it was a nice moment.
These kids didn't have lunch money on Monday. By Wednesday, they had all the equipment they could ever desire.
yes, exactly. That's very much.
And
so.
also, I
Is
don't
that
know
a
about.
trailer line or what?
It should have been. That's a great line.
I also speaking back in time. Did you guys ever have to write anything on a chalkboard thousands of times to
Yes.
say you're wrong? I never had to do
Allegedly.
I remember.
that.
I remember going outside every day because I got in trouble for smacking the erasers dry. I'm not doing that shit. That sucks.
No,
Isn't that a good thing that you're cleaning them?
I actually
No,
had
because you get chalk all over you, and then you have to go home in that shit. And your mom's like, "What'd you do now?"
I had an issue.
Well,
I had an issue where I was really scared of authority. And so when an authority figure told me to do anything, I did it. So I screwed up something in the lunchroom one day in like 3rd grade, and the lunch lady, who has absolutely no power at the school, told me to go home and write, "I will not make a mess in the lunchroom" 600 times.
You started the food fight, didn't you?
No, but so I went home and bled my little hands as I wrote, "I will not start a lunch or food fight. I will not cause a mess," or whatever, 600 times. It was pretty painful.
I know
your
a
childhood
kid-
and mine are just so different.
I know a kid that had to write in this notebook because that kid had a lot of issues, and so this
You can say it's you. It's okay.
no, I know this guy. He had to write in this notebook, and he was told that he would not be able to complete another grade unless he wrote in this notebook. And in order to make it look bigger, he wrote in the notebook and then shredded the papers and then filled trash bags with those papers and turned them into the teacher. And he allegedly passed them off as 2,000 notes, but no one ever found out.
Very nice. Very nice.
Allegedly.
Miss Wingo, R.I.P.
Aww. Okay, so that's kind of our rundown of the favorite scenes. So let's talk about. You good, Kevin?
Yeah.
You good?
No, yeah. Blues are winning a lot to a little in
It's
Game
okay.
7.
I think they'll be okay.
I'm so happy right now.
I
you don't even know.
I will know in September and October. I will know.
Easy now. I'll
So-
let you know way before then if this continues to go well.
Okay, and they're beating the Stars, ironically.
Ironically, yes, they are beating the Dallas Stars tonight.
Fuck off this hockey game. Get back to the movie.
But yet, so people know, who knows, this is being recorded on Game 7 of the Blues
one
Star
cares
Series.
besides
Hey,
Kevin.
Josh, I'm curious. Who's winning right now? What's the score?
Was it, last time I checked, it was 5-0.
Oh, it still is 5-0 in the third
Oh,
period.
hey, Kevin, I'm a
So
Blackhawks
do
fan.
you
How
find
many
it
championships you
odd that
win?
they picked?
Easy.
Do I find it odd that let these guys record?
They
Yes.
picked their
Yes, I do.
characters very carefully to make sure that each one could be representative. Every kid could find themselves in that movie.
Well, and that's what I was going to talk about next. Is let's talk about some of our favorite characters, because I agree with you. This is kind of like the same idea as The Sandlot, where there's always a character you can latch onto. So let's talk about that.
Well, you have some
Kevin, go for it.
You have some same actors.
Yes, we do.
From
Go for it.
the guy that plays
That's not true.
Terry Hall.
That's not true. That's not. I don't believe that.
Terry Hall.
That's not true.
The kid that plays Terry Hall.
I
He
don't-
was
I don't
the
see
pitcher.
him on this list. This is IMDb's official list. He's not on the list.
What do you
It's
mean?
official.
He's not on the list.
List for what?
He's not on the list.
You're really confusing Kevin right now.
List for what? The kid that played Terry Hall was the pitcher from Sandlot.
He's not on the list.
I thought the same thing. He's not on the list.
He's not on the list.
Oh, okay. Let's just.
He's not on the
But he should be on the list
I'm also noticing
because he's the
that
one who says cake eater.
I'm also he was definitely not in Sandlot.
I thought that kid.
No, definitely not.
But okay, so my favorite character,
This
obviously,
is dead air. It's great.
But my relation to Goldberg probably starts more in like D2 when they're all tied up and all of a sudden somebody farts and they all blame it on Goldberg. Story of my life, hello. But and that's when the other Bash brother in D2 was just like, no, it was me. And okay, how many times have I been blamed for farting when it wasn't me? Just saying.
How many times have you been blamed for farting when it was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another story. But guys, Brandon Quinton Adams in both Sandlot and Mighty Ducks.
Wait.
I thought so. Suck it.
What he played Terry Hall?
Terry Hall.
Did he play Terry Hall? You did invite me into your house, and I am sorry the internet's just this different guy. But they don't say they look alike either, because that's not good radio.
Okay. However, I must say that we are guilty of that very often. Being like, if you could see,
look.
Oh yeah, look at this.
No.
Oh wait, nobody can see out there.
Different character. Different
No.
guy.
Okay, Jesse Hall. Oh, Jesse Hall, not Terry Hall.
Get it right.
Jesse Hall.
Get it
His name
right.
is Brendan Quinton Adams.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Jesse and Terry, they were brothers, I believe, at the time in the movie. God, this is great. Okay, so I'm
I'm just
sorry.
watching you flounder, and it's quite fun.
Jesse Hall, I'm sorry if I got the two brothers mixed up on which one's Jesse and which one's Terry. Jesse Hall was in Sandlot, but no, the character I relate to and some of my favorite moments involve Goldberg. He farts in the limo and everything. It's great moments. And yeah, you can't really relate to anybody in this movie.
No. I think all kids can find themselves as if it were the Sandlot. That's what me and Scott were making the connection.
You were too busy watching the Blues game at the time.
No, but the thing is, I mean, you're absolutely right, because that's how they build these movies. Have different types of kids within the.
That's how we segued into your favorite character.
And so I will say Goldberg, just like in Sandlot, who was my favorite. Porter was my favorite character in Sandlot, and I said that in the Sandlot podcast.
Yes, you did.
Great
And so-
Hambino.
The great Hambino, and he was just a smart ass. Goldberg, not so much as a smart ass as Porter, but I still have to. Goldberg, he's just misunderstood.
So, Bailey, you've said a couple times you can find somebody in his characters. So, who did you find?
Jesse Hall, Terry Hall, Jesus Bailey.
I would say allegedly, if we're talking about the same friend, I would say that he relates to Charlie very, very much so. Because I believe Charlie's mom was like a waitress at a diner, right?
Yep.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that's... I related a lot to it, but I wouldn't have fell out like a punk like he did. Because you don't fall in love with some grown man within a 3-day window and say, okay, you can be my new daddy. Because that's kind of how I felt. He's like, he built these walls, but the walls weren't they were paper thin. They were paper thin. So, yeah, I could have related to Charlie had he been a little stronger.
You gotta love, though, when they're sitting in the diner and basically Charlie looks at Bombay and goes, hey, my mom's good looking, isn't she? He's like, you want to screw my mom? Please, screw my mom. Help me out, please.
Because he
That's what I'm
totally
saying.
said screw, right?
Well, that's the part of the character I can relate to. He was, and also, he was more the coach. And I know personally that I am not great at certain things. And rather than lie to myself or you, I would much rather say, you know what I'm good at? I'm good at this. And organizing, and playing to my
A player
to my
coach,
strengths.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I would much rather know that I helped this entire team get exactly where you need to go, rather than say, oh shit, we got 30 seconds left, give it to me. No. I know I'm not going to make it. So give it to somebody else. We'll find the guy that does it. So that's how I can relate to.
Definitely, and we see that in the first movie too, because at the end he's the guy who is trying to make the goal, gets stopped, and gets the penalty goal. Which why does every
penalty goal?
penalty shot?
Yes.
Okay. Baseball.
It's a basketball rim. It's the same size in Indiana
It's a ring.
as it in
Sports puck.
But he's the kid who everyone thinks really shouldn't be taking the shot, but he gets the chance to take the shot, and he brings it home for him.
because it's a Disney movie.
It's a Disney movie, yes. Josh.
Fucking Disney. My favorite character and who I can actually relate to, well, not me, but I knew somebody who was like this.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Quotations. We're doing
Mr.
quotations.
Hale Fort Atkins III, a.k.a. Philip Banks. You know, Philip Banks to me was one of my favorite characters because he was the diehard. He was. Banks, come on. He loved hockey. That's all he wanted to do. That's what he was passionate about. Everyone has a friend who is very passionate, or not everyone, I guess you say, but
A lot of people don't have friends.
that's
so.
true.
Are you talking about Adam Banks or his dad?
Did I say his dad?
You said Philip Banks.
I said his dad.
I was gonna say I was like
Sorry.
really confused.
The dad who, by
Well,
the way,
damn it, you need a dad
by
like
the
that.
way, the dad who, after his kid switches teams, still wears the other team's
That's
jacket
true,
to the
that's
championship
so true.
game.
Yeah.
He's still wearing a hockey.
Sorry, not Philip Banks.
Hey, at least he showed some heart when his son got injured.
That's true.
By the way, I love how he's like in a comatose state.
He's like,
after,
shit, I'm
after
gonna
that light hit.
How many times does Banks get injured in the Mighty Ducks?
Oh my god.
Twice.
Because he gets hit on the wrist in part 2, right?
Spoiler.
I can move it now.
But no, yeah. So
looked
Adam
like
Banks. I was
he was
really
hurt.
confused.
Sorry, Adam, excuse
It
me.
looked like he was hurt before the movie started because he had those dark circles under his eyes. He looked so hurt. Like,
Because he's in his garage slap shotting all night long, no sleep.
well, no, they don't
We're
have
talking about you or
competitive-
him.
They don't have competitive families in America. 'cause
Anyway,
he said that they
we
don't-
know that Adam Banks is more of a wrist shot kind of
He is
player
more of a wrist
versus
shot
a
guy.
slap shot.
But
That's
I-
Fulton Reed is the.
But
slap
he's
shot.
he's the character that loves the sport so much that that's all he wants to do, and he's so passionate about it. Even when he has to switch teams, he still wants to play.
He just said, "I want to play. I just want to play
he
hockey."
just wants to play hockey, even though his dad and the coach from the Hawks want him to play for them, but because he is a good player.
He's
So
the best player.
He is the best player.
didn't belong on
And
that
he's
team.
he's a fucking cake eater. Cake eater.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Does
Either.
anybody know what cake eater
But every
means?
time he said it, I always wanted cake. I swear to God.
I'm assuming crows eat cake?
You know what's funny though? I was in a show a couple years ago, and I had to wear a jersey, and they said, "What number do you want?" And I took the Guy Germain number, 00.
Did you really?
Yeah, absolutely. and they're like, "What number do you want?" I'm like, "I want 00." And by the way, the Guy Germain and Connie Moreau relationship going on, and how it just builds throughout all the movies, it's beautiful.
Are you gonna cry?
Just I might.
You might. You
I
look
love-
like you're gonna shed a tear there.
And it starts in D2 when they're joining the team together. And
I
they're
love
just,
how we're just jumping.
I was
all
this
over.
close.
We're probably never going to
Hello, Josh. Welcome to Flashbacks. This is what we do.
This is called the
nostalgia-
Stream of Consciousness podcast.
and it's the best.
There's lots of flashbacks. There's just no direction.
and there's the name of the show.
I would say my favorite character is probably Averman, who is an annoying son of a bitch, and I love that about him.
The Chuckster.
Yes.
And the Buster.
Well, he's got some great one-lines too. Yes, that's really annoying. But
Yeah,
he's
but
got
which came first for the Rob Schneider or
Pauly
him?
Shore or Averman?
Well, no, I'm saying that. Yeah, it's the same
It really
vernacular.
is,
Like
yes.
which one? I mean,
Probably him. Probably Averman. When Pauly Shore start out? 93, 94? When's Biodome?
Great movie. That's a funny one.
being the veteran of the show, I would have to go to you or Google. So
Go to Google.
All right.
But
You
how
are
good-
no
but how good of
Brandon.
an actually hockey player was he?
Oh, he was fucking terrible, but that was the point.
But he still made. Never mind.
Because, even Bombay says, "Are you guys? Do you think losing's funny?" He's like, "Well, not at first, but once you get the hang of it."
Yeah,
It's just the little one-liners like that. Great.
He did have some great ones.
When he's talking to him about, soft hands, he's like, "Oh, like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off."
He was the comic relief in the movie. He was the comic relief.
I
He
enjoy
wasn't the
comic
only
relief.
one.
But he was the main one.
Yeah,
Like
he
the
was.
one-liners.
He was the biggest smartass of everybody. I would give you that. But yet he was also the one that always shot the final shot during.
Rob
the flying
Schneider was
V.
first. Rob Schneider was 1991. Mighty
Thank you,
Ducks
sir.
was 1992.
Thank you.
Biodome 96.
Well,
And we're back.
Biodome was way off. Okay,
Wow,
got it.
20 years ago.
Yeah, don't remind me.
side note,
91, 90.
today, 20 years ago today, Twister came out.
Oh,
What the hell does that have to do with Mighty Ducks?
Just throwing it out. We're
Because
going
there's a storm.
Well,
you got cows.
Another cow. I think that's
That'll
the
be
same
a
one.
great flashback too.
It's on the list. Don't
I
worry.
can watch that movie all day long.
There are so many on the list. We're never gonna get through them all. Okay, so there's our favorite characters. We're completely lost. Let's talk about some things that did not work that we haven't been doing since the start of this podcast. But let's talk about some things that did not
Not
work.
to shit on the whole movie, but
Josh, please shit on the whole movie.
Well, let's shit on this movie real quick. Some things that did not work. Well, obviously, it's unrealistic as hell.
Disagree.
Okay, Nate.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. Go, Kevin!
Kevin, you're up. He just passed the ball to you.
The probability that a team can go from last to first
Ah, there you go.
in one season against a team that has been playing together and was clearly competitive.
And won multiple championships besides that
And
one
explain
year.
this to me. In Minnesota, is there just one city? Well, I know there's two, Minneapolis, St. Paul, but it's the state championships, but they're all from the same like frickin' neighborhoods.
That it's
Well,
it's like a conference.
I also
Yeah,
want to know
but-
why there's a Pee Wee magazine that the Minnesota hockey team gets on there all the time.
Because that's all they have in
The Ducks win the
Minnesota.
They
championship.
take
Like, what
it
the hell
very
is this?
seriously.
That's all they
They
have.
take their hockey very seriously, and you just have to appreciate
Well,
that.
big cities like Chicago and stuff like you get more population. There's more schools there, so you get better talent in those areas.
But still, I bet there's talent somewhere else.
Oh, I'm
Your
sure there
education's
is.
based on your zip code. That's why we're fighting today with the Senate bill that just got passed today.
I don't know what you're talking
what
about.
did work was heartstrings. What didn't work was the plot.
Yeah, okay, I get you. Keep going.
That's
How'd the plot not work?
Plots all
You
over
just
the
said.
place.
How
Are you
does a
kidding
team
me?
go from last to
Yeah. First.
This is a minor
and
detail.
You have a drunken
legitimately-
alcoholic coach who loves to drive.
Let's go over their actual pieces here. They tied after they were losing. They tied one game. They
Because
won,
all but the last two teams move on, or whatever it was.
and they won. And one team got the mumps or whatever
was
it was.
this,
and got
was
dropped
this the
out.
birth of the montage where you train in about a week and you become the greatest team ever?
Yeah, after
much.
the montage where you actually take falls for a week, and that doesn't
Right, that's
work.
what I'm saying. Was this the beginning of that?
Take
in
the
cinema?
fall! Act
Oh,
hurt!
Rocky. I
Get
think Rocky would do
ejected!
it.
Well, just in a different light.
Matt, I
I'm saying
remember.
for a team sport. Like,
Okay, I can see that.
I'd say that.
Maybe
well,
Bad News
in-
Bears. Did they have a montage in Bad News Bears?
I don't know.
Once you break enough eggs,
Soft hands.
soft hands,
Soft
All
hands.
You get better at that.
Yeah, but those kids were so poor the week
do not know how many
before,
times
they
I've
wouldn't
said
be
that.
wasting those damn eggs.
Damn right.
No, no. They were watching a dog shit.
Yeah,
That's what they had
That's
going
what I'm trying
for
to get
them.
at. The heartstrings worked. They put somebody in the inner city of what should have been Minnesota, and they picked the worst kids that were damn near like the cast of Rent. They just had nothing.
They all had AIDS?
And, well, no, they were just.
Thanks for the spoiler. I've never seen Rent.
There was a lot of denim in
serious?
this movie, so I could actually go
Well,
with
I'm
that.
saying
There was
there's,
a lot of
there's
denim.
denim, and everybody's like, we're so poor. It's
Multicolored
Christmas.
shirts.
Yeah, we can't.
I'm gonna say I do love the football jerseys, the football pads. the-
Yeah.
It is very 90s.
Wait. Well, speaking of that, did Little Giants rip off of this one, or did Little?
Little Giants was later.
Okay,
Little
well,
Giants
there you
is
go.
in its own world.
That's on the list too.
Don't
by the
So
way.
yeah, so in a nutshell, what did work was heartstrings. What didn't work was plot.
I would agree with that, and as I've already kind of mentioned, what doesn't work for me is the main character, Gordon Bombay. I hate every decision that he makes in this movie. Obviously, he's a sleazy lawyer, and we were supposed to hate him from the beginning. Driving out on the ice in the limo, trying to kill kids. He says, I know how to play hockey. I used to be good at this, so I'm going to teach these kids how to take pratfalls.
Yeah.
That dick move. Then he goes over and says, I still don't have a team that's going to win, so I'm going to go do some fun stuff with redistricting.
Yeah.
And this kid who's really good, who really just wants to play, enjoys life, I'm going to force him to join another team.
He's
to
following
help
the
me out.
rules.
I don't care.
He changed the rules of all.
It's Pee Wee hockey.
So
you don't screw over the kids.
So you say every decision, but then when he goes to Ducksworth and said, I think we need a sponsor, and then we're going to name
I
it.
already said that was a kickback to Hans. All that was. That man made a lot of money on that deal.
Speaking of which, how how many of you guys have had an appreciation for the Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, or whatever they've
Well,
been
they
in
started
before?
the year after, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
they named it freshman hockey.
as everybody
Yeah.
secretly had a mildly enjoyment,
I
because
was like 8 years
absolutely.
old and I
Yeah.
was drawing the things. It was,
absolutely. And they had the cartoon with like the actual anamorphic ducks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I agree. Back then, this movie was
There was everything.
very popular
Yeah.
to all of us and really big into the culture. But looking back now, I cannot
It's a shit
stand
show.
Emilio Estevez. I'm hoping he's better in part 2.
Young
'cause I haven't
Guns,
seen-
really?
I can't stand Emilio Estevez in this movie.
There you
Did
go.
you just
Okay.
say you have not seen D2?
Not in since like 20 years. That's why I'm saying I
Oh,
haven't
I'm
watched
sorry.
it again. I think,
great
and if I
movie.
remember right, D2 is a better movie.
You know.
It is.
I like how it bring in different countries and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
do too.
It's-
Yeah.
Iceland.
Iceland is very green,
I
and
wore
Greenland's full of ice.
the VHS. I wore it out for D2.
See, kids, these VHSs were
Yeah.
cassette tapes, but larger, and they had videos on them.
It's
And
great.
you couldn't just fast forward.
You could, but you would ruin the tape.
Oh.
Blockbuster hated you for it.
And you had to rewind it when you turned it back and when you brought it back.
Be kind.
Otherwise, it's 20 cents.
And 20 cents went a long way back then.
Well, yeah.
Inflation's a bitch, isn't it?
But speaking of which, weren't you always jealous when they have the super fast rewinders? I'm like,
I
man,
know, that
I
could-
wish I had something like
my
that.
dad bought one.
Do you know how many VCRs I actually killed over the course of my lifespan?
And for you
You
young,
take them apart and see how they work.
for you kids, what a VCR is.
I had a beta, okay?
Okay, that's old.
You're telling your age. You're telling your age.
Yes, I am the oldest one here. It's okay. It's okay. So,
I'm the baby.
Yeah, you're acting like a baby.
so
Easy there. Let's go Blues.
See?
no, but I legitimately think then let's get into our closing thoughts and kind of the lasting impact of this movie, which again we've kind of already hit on through our stream of consciousness. But let's talk about some more. Where do we think this movie fits into the nostalgic pantheon, and how much does it affect what we see today? Josh, go for it.
Well, how?
I like how you use Pantheon, by the way.
I'm gonna use
a
that.
big word for a
That's a nice
flashback.
word.
It came out to me on the John, so we're gonna use it from now on.
Well, this movie set the tone, obviously, for the next two movies that in the franchise, and it set the tone for Miracle, because that was
that movie.
this was Mighty Ducks was the first hockey movie.
Well, I would.
Slapshot.
Well,
Yeah,
sorry, Slapshot. Sorry,
But
Slapshot.
Your
different-
kid movie.
Kid movie.
First
Kid
kid
movie.
hockey movie.
Kid hockey
yeah,
movie.
I
We
would
all
do
know the
that.
Disney Channel original movie, HE double hockey sticks.
Oh my god.
No, I really don't. We didn't have a Disney.
That's
Channel
probably
back
like
in my day.
25 years since I've seen that one.
But no, you're very much right. I think you're right. Slapshot obviously came first.
Yeah, my Slapshot was more of an adult because that movie was
absolutely.
raunchy as shit.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But when
This
when you come to like the youth team sport kind of movie, this
Yeah.
kind of sets a tone.
No matter what sport you played, it inspired every kid from that demographic to want to do some form of the flying V, whether it was in baseball, football, hockey. We're gonna work it into this, whatever.
But this was the first movie to usher out kids sports movies because after that you had the
Rookie of the-
Giants, you
Rookie
had
of the Year.
Sandlot, you had Rookie of the Year, Angels in the Outfield. Hell, the list goes on.
The entire '90s was packed with them.
Exactly. So this movie definitely set the tone. I agree. The plot line was shit. Gordon Gone
But you gotta have one to have the franchise.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing we were.
I'm not willing to trade. If we have to have this, I'm not gonna say it's as bad as the skid mark on the underpants, but it's definitely like a warm. Like a warm fart, you don't know if it's gonna just break or not. You gotta have that.
What a great analogy!
Best analogy
Here's the
ever.
thing too.
Call it the Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
The interesting part is this one made the most movie. This one made the most money.
Really?
Josh is gonna die. This one made the most money. Mighty Ducks 2 made less, and Mighty Ducks 3 made a shit ton less, which is why we don't have Mighty Ducks 4.
Yeah.
But so this is the most popular in terms of income movie. But I think I agree with you. I think from my memory, number 2 takes the cake, and I only saw part 3 like one or two
It sucks
times.
that 2 took the cake because it's more flashy. They've got way more money. It's not that original story of these misfits just trying to make something
No,
happen.
they are the champions at this point. In fact, they
Yeah.
end singing around the campfire, Queen. So
That's another story. For
and this is
another
the
day.
only Disney kids movie sports one that's an actual franchise.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no
right.
other ones.
Very true. Well, we had Angels in the Outfield too for straight to video.
There was an Angel to the Outfield.
Exactly.
It was. It was
Was it
true.
really?
Air Bud 7 is not a franchise.
Airbud does not count it.
But when that dog was left on that island and
Golden
Airbud won, I
Retriever.
still cry.
Golden
Gosh, you're a
Retriever.
pussy.
I'm sorry, Golden Receiver. There we go.
Golden Receiver.
Kevin, you got anything else? you
No,
want to add?
but like I was hinting at earlier, this started so much of my hockey knowledge. Where this is a movie that gave me where the North Stars
It got
were.
you into hockey.
It got me into hockey, and
As he's wearing a jersey right now.
it's another reason why I'm wearing it. But yeah,
No, it's
Crazy.
honestly,
He's wearing a
it took
Detroit
probably-
Red Wings jersey the whole time he's been talking about how excited he is. It's bonkers.
How dare you
Is that
bring up that
really?
Detroit?
And I hate
Steve
Detroit.
Yzerman of
Yeah.
all people? Steve Yzerman is your jersey. I can't believe that.
Such a fucking
closet fan.
He's wearing a potato jersey.
Anyway, yeah, Tarasenko is apparently a potato.
He's a fucking potato.
But anyway, no, this definitely started my appreciation for hockey, and I've always loved hockey. I never played hockey though. My brother played hockey a little bit, but yet it started my knowledge where it allows me to know where the North Stars came from, and then also it's secretly because, like I was hinting at earlier, I know who the Ducks are. I mean, I have a little appreciation for the Ducks because of this movie, even though I always hope the Ducks lose every year. But yet there's still part of me that's like, hey, I hope you do well. Why? Because I watched these guys when I was a kid. Oh, these Ducks weren't even around when I was a kid. But yet, it's still, you see, they drew on the uniforms and everything that the Ducks are wearing now. And you see that throughout all the movies. And that's what I think it started. It started an appreciation for sports. It started appreciation for hockey, where people of our generation can truly appreciate. And that's what that's what I get out of the movie. And that's the legacy that it brings. And it really does bring this nostalgic hockey feel that really started my appreciation for hockey.
You really appreciate it?
He appreciated it several times.
Josh, guess what? I'm appreciative of this movie for hockey.
I seriously think that's the best way to end it. I think that's a good point, and I like seeing that there's a connection there that leads to a lifelong value in terms of still loving hockey to this day. I think that's a perfect way to sum up the movie.
And you get that with Sandlot. You get Sandlot Rookie of the Year for base. I mean, there's a lot more baseball.
There's not much football. Little
And
times.
as much as I hate to say it, in terms of soccer, but Big Green, as bad of a movie that
a
was.
strange sport played by damaged people.
Yes.
Thank you,
But-
Robin Williams.
And that's what I liked about these. Even though I don't know if that was Disney or not, but this is the start of this sports franchise or just these sport movies that just led us on and what we enjoyed back in the days where we were outside playing sports all the time, and you can't Space Jam for basketball. You just have all these movies that just. Back when we were outside playing these sports all the time, we could truly appreciate it, and that's what I get from it.
And by the way, based on the fact that they own Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Marvel, it was probably Disney. If not, they'll buy it later. So
True.
it was probably
Do you want to
Disney.
know what that movie has a ranking on Rotten Tomatoes? I think it's all of a 1%.
This movie here has 15%.
That's disgusting. That is
15%.
disturbing.
Without the nostalgia glasses, I can understand.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for today. So first off, before we go around the room and say our names one more time for fun, I do want to thank our sponsor, Killin' Comics, here in Springfield, Illinois. If you're not living in Springfield, Illinois, that's great. They still got a website. They got a Facebook page. Check them out. I also wanted to plug Jeremy Bailey's podcast, who Chapter 2 is coming up pretty soon. You want to talk a little bit about that real quick? I know you don't, but you're going to anyway.
Chapter 2 is coming up very soon.
And that's it.
I'll say this. I worked as hard as I could last year to put out some content, and I'm overwhelmed by the amount of downloads. I can't believe that it's still going. I took 6 months off to marry the love of my life, and it was one of the funnest experiences I've ever done. But I'm definitely eager to get back to work.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Sounds good.
And thank you for letting me be on the show.
No, thanks for coming. I think we need
You
to
have
have you more
been
often.
wonderful.
He's perfect. He's
Love your one-liners.
That's what we need more.
And if you want to know more about us, you can find us at the Front Row Movie Reviews on Instagram and on Facebook. Front Row Reviews with a Z on Twitter. The Front Row Movie Reviews at gmail.com. Sooner or later, Jeremy will hit the damn button, and we will have a website. sooner or later. I'm going to keep plugging them on it. But please check us out. I want your hate mail. Please send us your hate mail to the front row.
Love your hate mail.
The front row movie reviews at gmail.com. And also, I want to hear from you about what movies you want us to talk about. We have a lineup coming up of some great movies. As we mentioned in our Civil War podcast, which I think drops before this one, I hope, we're going to be having a crossover with After the Hype. We're going to be talking about one of the most highest grossing independent movies of all time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've got quite a few other movies coming up, but we want to hear from you and see what you want us to talk about, because we love nostalgia. We want to check out some good movies.
We could do these movies all the time.
Absolutely.
Just movies like everything we've listed this year: Angels of the Outfield, Rookie of the Year.
They're all on the list,
And
man.
They are all on the list, and this is our era, and this is what we truly love.
And I'll tell you,
unfortunately, some of us are actually Cub fans around here, but.
What's your Eiserman jersey over there? You gonna talk shit? It's your Steve Eiserman jersey. You gonna talk shit?
Best record
Don't play me.
in the history of the franchise.
Russian Red Army,
Just
best hockey team in the world. Is that what you said?
Sorry, I just had to poke the beast a little bit more today.
That's
So,
fine.
based on that, and to give you a hint of what we'll be talking about next time we come out, we've all been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Until then, we'll see you in the front row. I am Scott McFarland. I have with me
Kevin, let's go Blues. Kolovic.
The Steve Eiserman fan.
Oh, Jesus. Jeremy, that's you.
He's laughing.
Jeremy Bailey. Thank you so much for letting me on the show, guys.
Kevin,
It's
you're
been a
such a
pleasure.
dork. Josh Meisenbacher.
Thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.